I publicly gave my life on August 16th, 2025, and 2 days before I was asked to give my testimony. So here it is. The first time I felt God was a couple years ago at a winter camp called Deep Freeze. It's a 2 day camp in January. Around the end of the service, I think on the second day, we were asked to go to the back and pick one of four cards. There was a card that said "Follow Me," and honestly, I don't remember what the other one said, but I chose the "Follow Me" card. My mom was at the camp with me, so I went back to my seat next to my mom, and she pulled me into an embrace, and I felt like it wasn't just her that was hugging me at that time. And I was just overcome with emotion. I was crying for the next 2 hours. I didn't know what I was feeling or what was happening because I had never felt like this before, but it felt powerful. After that moment, after that camp went by, I didn't really think of it that much. It was in the back of my mind whenever it wanted to be brought up. It would be brought up and I would think about it, but I mean, I didn't really think of what that was after. And I don't know if anybody else watching this is going to make sense of this, but I'm making sense of this. I got into a bike crash last summer that I feel like I shouldn't have survived. I was going over 20 miles per hour on an e-bike and I just went straight into a ditch. I rolled over, landed on my head and my neck in the ditch. There were bushes and trees everywhere, and I stood right back up, and I feel like that shouldn't have happened. There were no cuts or scratches. I came out with a bruise on my leg, and and that's all. Writing the script to this, I was just remembering. I was remembering everything and what happened, and I was telling myself that, that I shouldn't have came out of that. I shouldn't have came out of the ditch. I should have still been there. That summer, I went to a camp called Camp 207. It's in Fayette, Maine. It's a couple hours away from me. It was my first time there. I didn't know what to expect or anything or who I would see, what would be happening. I had never been to a Christian camp like that before. The only thing I've been to close to that is Deep Freeze, which is 2 days compared to a week. I remember it was Thursday, and our pastor, who was actually the pastor at my church, was asking the kids to, if they were deciding that they would give their life to stand up. And it was me and this kid named Kaz who loved the dude. We were the only people who stood up. But again, I didn't know what I was feeling, but I was feeling something. There was something powerful that was there. After the service and everything, we went to a little worship night by the fire. We sang songs where we were just all with each other. It was a great experience. I loved it so much. But again, during this, I was just overcome with the emotion, the same emotion that I had felt just a couple years before I defreeze. I don't know if anybody watching this has like a song, but I have my song and it's gratitude. And when we started singing that, I don't know what happened, but something powerful came over me, and it was such a great moment. Come August 16th, it was a Saturday. It was the last day of camp, and it was the day that people were getting baptized. I think there were maybe over 20 of us, 14 maybe. But I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I mean, I bet like everybody else there was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I I had always seen people getting baptized at my church, but I didn't know what it was going to be like myself. What I thought was going to happen was that I might feel what I felt just a couple days before that Thursday in the service, or maybe even from deep freeze what I felt then. I thought that's what getting baptized was going to feel like. But if I'm being honest, I didn't really feel too much. I didn't feel as different as I thought I would. There was definitely something there. It just wasn't what I was expecting. And while I was there at camp, I think it was probably Friday, I we were praying in the cabin, and in my prayer, I asked God just show me something, just to know he's here, or that he was real, or that I I don't know, just I needed to believe something. And yes, I believed he was real. I believed he was. It's not that I needed a proof. It was just that proof might have felt good at the moment. Fast forward to Friday, October 3rd, I had a weird dream in the middle of the night. In the dream, I was in the back seat of a car that my dad was driving, which was weird at the time because it had been maybe close to a year and a half since the last time I saw him. He's not dead or anything. He's probably watching this right now. But in the back seat of that car, I was driving up to my house, and in the back seat, I was on my phone, and as soon as I looked up, the sky was purple, and right in front of me in the purple sky was clouds, just a row of clouds. Only one. It wasn't like the whole sky was filled with clouds, just right in front of me, just the first little bit right there. And on that cloud were seven figures ascending down. I'd never seen anything like that before. I was terrified out of my mind. And what I heard was just what people say heaven sounds like. The only way I could describe it was Judgment Day. And as those figures were ascending down, I was ascending up out of the car and just up into the sky. In that dream, I was overjoyed. I had a huge smile on my face, which is what I also woke up to after the dream. But the thing was, while I was ascending up, I looked away, and I just snapped out of the dream. I slipped out of it, but it wasn't the last dream that happened that night. It happened two more times. The next two times, I was just standing in my front yard, and when I looked over to the left, I saw and felt and heard the same thing. While I was down in my front yard, I guess it gave me a better look at what I was actually seeing. And right now, before anything, I want to transition into Revelations 14:14, which says, this is the Christian Standard Bible, which says, "Then I looked, and there was a white cloud, and one like the Son of Man was seated on the cloud, with a golden crown on his head, and a sharp sickle in his hand. Another angel came out of the temple, crying out in a loud voice to the one who was seated on the cloud, 'Use your sickle and reap, for the time to reap has come, since the harvest of the earth is ripe.'" That last verse was verse 15, and reading that verse really made me think that what I was seeing in this dream was a vision of what Judgment Day might look like. But back to before, where I was telling you guys what I saw. For the people who might not believe what is said in Scripture, I had never heard that verse before, seen that verse. And what I saw was a glowing figure in the middle, three angels on each side of him, which added up to six angels in total, with the one figure in the middle. Like I said, all glowing. But on the figure in the middle was a golden crown, a sickle, and a robe. After I had that dream, I woke up at about 3 in the morning and thought it was a good idea to just reach out to my assistant pastor at our church. I just thought at that moment I needed to talk to somebody and tell them what I just saw. And I'm glad that I did that, because since then I was in discipleship with my assistant pastor. And I'm glad that I did that, because since then I was in discipleship with my assistant pastor. And the reason that I'm glad that I went through that discipleship was because we really got to thinking, and it honestly really helped me grow my relationship with God. And honestly, here on the Main Believers, that's what I'm hoping to do too, because my pastor always told me, once we're done with this book, I want you to take this and I want you to go disciple somebody else. And honestly, what better place to do it than on here with all of you? What I want to do with you all is I want to go through that same book that me and my pastor went through. And I might also want to alternate too into this book called Discipleship Essentials. This was the first book that me and my pastor were supposed to go through. We thought it might have been too advanced at the time. Second time the camera crashed on me. I just had to go get my air purifier and put it right into the camera because it was overheating. Like I said, we thought it might have been too advanced for me at the time because I was just starting. But I think it could be pretty powerful for some of the other people that are in here. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys felt something. I hope every single one of you has a great rest of your day, rest of your night, rest of your week. Everybody that's watching this. And I will hopefully see you guys next week.